So everybody, so glad to have you on the call this morning. And we're going to talk about one of my very, very favorite products. We have a lot of amazing things in Nikan. And when you hear some of the stories about the sleep system, going over to someone's home and rolling the Magduo on them or letting them try some of the products were often just really dramatic powerful things that can happen to them over such a short time. You think, wow, we really do have powerful products that transform our lives. But I think sometimes that humble Kenzen Vital Balance Shake, day after day, taking that, where you're putting into your body super nutrition, that can have such a huge impact, especially when you look at what is out there in the world to thwart our desire to be healthy. It seems like marketers and purveyors of artificial food, I don't know what else to call it because it really isn't real. It doesn't support our health. It's not designed to. It's designed to addict us. And we're at a point in our lives where I look around and statistically there's more obese people than there are normal weight people. And of course, no one wants to be that. But again, we're eating food that's designed to addict and keep us buying more. And so we're going to talk about something that can make a big difference for you. And let's see, where do I share screen? Right here. And push the button. Okay, a PowerPoint. As I mentioned to some of you, on an airplane next to me was a person that worked for Abbott Laboratories. This is a company that's been around quite a while. And this is stuff that I actually lifted off of their website. And think about this. These are very, very pretty words, very well written. I would too if I was a 100-year-old successful business. And so look at this right here, 100 years of trusted science-based nutrition. This is founded on focus on innovative nutrition products. Abbott Nutrition built its reputation on nutritional excellence through solid scientific advances. We are a worldwide leader in nutrition science, research, and development. Abbott Nutrition is a division of Abbott, the global-based healthcare company. And every day, our global team of scientists are working hard to discover and develop nutrition solutions and products that advance the quality of life for people of all ages. Healthcare professionals trust us to provide cutting-edge nutrition products that meet changing nutrition needs, and we deliver on their expectations, providing a vast array of nutritional products that help babies and children grow, work to keep bodies strong, and support the unique needs of aging adults. Wow. And specifically, of all the products that Abbott has, one of the most popular ones is a shake called Ensure. Ensure was introduced to the market in 1973 and has been providing people with complete, balanced nutrition ever since. Ensure is the #1 doctor recommended brand among doctors who recommend liquid nutritional products to their patients. And for over 40 years, we have focused on the science of nutrition. Our formulas have been developed with leading scientists and several clinical studies. We hold ourselves to a high standard when it comes to nutrition, and we continue to develop products and innovations that provide impactful nutrition for those who are striving to improve. Okay, wow, think about this. This is pretty exciting, hearing about all of this 100 years. This specific product been around for 40 years, cutting edge. Well, okay, this is stuff off their webpage, but this is off their label. In fact, they even make this sound good. Core ingredients, the main ingredients in Ensure Original are just the right mix to help give you nutrition and energy that you need. They're the foundation of our complete and balanced formulations. Well, this looks pretty straightforward. Water, carbohydrates, fats, protein, sugar, another carbohydrate source. Well, let's go a little deeper into the actual ingredient listing. Okay, ingredient listing in order of quantity. Water. It's not too controversial, other than it doesn't say purified water, it just says water. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just municipal water that's not treated. I don't know. It just says water. Okay, corn maltodextrin. Corn maltodextrin. Okay, second ingredient other than water. And let's just kind of not look at that. Let's just say that if you're thinking of a product, it's maltodextrin, corn maltodextrin, sugar, milk protein concentrate, canola oil, corn oil, soy protein isolate, cocoa powder, pea protein concentrate right at the end, and then all the rest of the ingredients are less than 0.5% of the total ingredients. And mostly what it is things that are really not too controversial: magnesium phosphate, potassium citrate, natural and artificial flavor. They can get away with a lot of stuff when they say that. Soy lecithin, that could be controversial because almost always soy is GMO unless stated otherwise. Moving along a little further, what gives it body is carrageenan. We could talk about that a little bit, but pretty much just synthetic chemicals, cupric sulfate, that's copper sulfate, so forth. Well, goodness, let's go a little deeper into that. In fact, the number one ingredient other than water is corn maltodextrin. Now, a lot of times we hear things like corn syrup solids or high fructose corn syrup, different things like that. What is all of this? Well, basically you get something like corn, which is pretty inexpensive, and you hydrolyze the starch by adding enzymes and acids, filter it and purify it. And depending on the degree that you do that, you either get maltodextrin or corn syrup solids. The difference between the two is maltodextrin is hydrolyzed to have less than 20% sugar, whereas corn syrup solids has more than 20%. And this is stuff you can just research yourself. Okay, if you, other than the pretty words that Abbott says, look up maltodextrin, and essentially says maltodextrin is bad. It's sometimes worse than sugar. The reason is as far as spiking your blood sugar. And if you look up just how carbohydrates affect blood sugar, they have a thing called glycemic index. The higher that index, the quicker it burns in your body. So this is something that's interesting. It could be worse than having sugar because maltodextrin has a glycemic index of 85 to 105, depending on how much the degree of hydrolyzation. Table sugar, sucrose, is only 68. And so as far as glycemic index, as far as spiking your sugar, maltodextrin does it worse than table sugar. Maltodextrin and sugar get into your bloodstream fast. And if there's no place for that to go, like if you're gonna do an extreme workout, that might be a good thing to load with some simple carbs. But if you're not doing anything, it just gets turned straight to fat. Compared to real carbs from whole grains, they burn slower. They're broken down and absorbed slowly. And so with that in mind, maltodextrin looks more and more like sugar. Now, also you look at maltodextrin, it's associated with bad things, digestive problems, celiac, Crohn's, and again, this is all stuff I'm just looking up. Almost all corn today is GMO. And so the corn used to make maltodextrin is GMO. Everybody but US recommends avoiding GMO products. So I would say it has not a lot of the right research Oh my goodness. Other than research to make something as inexpensive as possible. Well, moving off into the sugar, excuse me, maltodextrin, I repeat myself. We've got canola oil and corn oil. Both of those almost always are GMO. And canola, did you know that that's an acronym? Canola, there isn't such a thing as canola, really. It's Canadian oil, low acid. It's been acid reduced chemically. And so canola sounds good for marketing, but that's about it. It goes through extreme processing. There's a book called Fats and Oils by Udo Erasmus. That is the book that you want. Some oils are good, some are bad. And canola oil is not good. I would not put that into my body. Look up canola oil and you'll find lots of reasons to avoid it, and not good. Now, here's the thing I think is kind of fun. If you look at the product Ensure specifically, it's not that much different than probably Slim Fast might be better. I think in my mind, looking back at that ingredient list, let's just go back to that real quick. Okay, here it is. Maltodextrin, sugar, milk protein concentrate, canola oil, corn oil, soy protein isolate. Let's talk a little bit about soy protein. That's been popular years and years ago. They thought, wow, here's a really neat thing. Textured vegetable protein, eating soy instead of meat, just all sorts of different things. And then we'd think, oh, Asians, they eat a lot of soy and they're very healthy, so soy must be good. Well, I think one of the big reasons soy is bad is because it's GMO. Another reason is it has a lot of factors in there that mimic hormones. And so it can affect that sort of thing. Also, another aspect is soy, unless it's been fermented and processed, it's very antagonistic to your thyroid. And that can really mess that up. So it's antagonistic to that. It's really not a good thing unless you're doing miso or some of these fermented products. I think that can be good. Soy, I think doing soy sauce, that's pretty good stuff. But we've even switched over to the coconut blossom stuff, the aminos, and oh, they're really good. Cocoa powder, probably not too controversial. Pea protein, probably okay. But look at those primary ingredients, sugar and cheap proteins. Milk protein, I bet it's not grass-fed cows, it's feedlot stuff. And feedlot beef is fed things like soy and corn and stuff like that. So, oh my goodness. I really believe, especially if you got almond milk with your Nestle's Quick and took a 1-a-day vitamin pill, you'd be way ahead versus doing Ensure, in my humble opinion. And then I just think it's tragic that you look at somebody that's older, which this is what it's marketed to. It's targeted for the older people because a lot of times when you're on your own, you might not want to fix a big meal or anything. And also, as your metabolism ages and slows down, plus digestive efficiency goes down. So you're taking in less calories, but your efficiency to absorb the nutrients is reduced. You need extra nutrients, so you want to eat food that's very nutritionally dense, which Ensure is not. That's a problematic. And so, wow, why do we have degenerative diseases? I think that goes to what we eat. Let food be our medicine. Now, here's a contrast. If you're a label reader, you'll quickly fall in love with the Nikin formula. Number one ingredient is organic pea protein. Now, I think what's fascinating is the second ingredient is MCTs, or medium chain triglycerides. Now, this is a special fat that for the average American, it's completely devoid because there's only certain foods that even have this. The uniqueness of this is it's fat, However, your body can't store it. In fact, what's really cool is MCTs are an ideal energy because it helps you actually burn body fat. It isn't stored, and it's rocket fuel for your brain. It works really well. In fact, if you look up MCTs with different kinds of brain problems, there's a lot of promising research that this is good for brains. The next on the ingredient, rather than a bunch of chemicals, is whole leaf moringa powder, organic. When you open up the vanilla, it's got kind of a pastel green color to it because there's so much green stuff in it. And in fact, the thing I really like about this is number 2 ingredient is a really high quality fat, not just a GMO canola oil and corn oil, but a functional fat that actually does good things instead of detrimental, but also having it high, it's satisfying. It gives a good mouthfeel. In fact, when you open that up, if you wanted to, you could dump Kenzen Vital Balance out and make a sandcastle because of that fat holds it all together, and so it packs. It feels good. It burns slow. It just works really, really nice. Very satisfying. Also, if you look high on the ingredient list, well, the flavors, not natural and artificial flavoring. It actually says what it is, natural vanilla flavor. Imagine that. But I think one of the things that's really fascinating is up high on the list is organic chlorella. This is a sea vegetation, a single cell, and it's been fractured so that the cellular part, the cellulose, which is the cell wall of all plants, is open because that's indigestible, so it makes it more nutrient available. But chlorella, and right next to there is cilantro. If you Google this, putting those together, there's a synergy that's created that helps you detox specifically heavy metals. Monk fruit, look that up. I've got some really unique factors in that are good for you. Monk fruit and stevia gives it a nice sweetness. Now, here's a thing that I think is really interesting. If you look up in the formula for Ensure, what gives it body is carrageenan. If you look up carrageenan, it has a lot of problems with digestive, but if you look up organic guar gum, it has a lot of health benefits. So it gives it thickness in body, but also it's a probiotic. It helps just with the healthy bacteria that are in your tummy. Enzymes, different types of proteolytic enzymes are added so that the food is alive. It actually pretty much is just very easy to digest. It doesn't take a lot of energy to break this down. And then in the product, you'll see Lactobacillus plantarum and bifidum. These are really ideal bacteria that are predominant in the digestive system. Bifidum is actually one of the first bacteria that were introduced as we nurse. And this is a really, really, really good one. Plantarum, that's from fermented plants. They're in there a lot in our diet, or should be. And what Nikken does is they freeze dry this so it's very, very stable. And then it's put into micro encapsulation, little teensy tiny beads that are enteric coated, so it escapes the upper part of your digestion where it's acidic and kills the little things. It escapes that because it's enteric coated and releases in the lower tract where these live. And if you're healthy, you actually have a couple of pounds, imagine that, of bacteria, and it's a functional part of your immune system. Some people actually refer to it as an organ in and of itself. It does good things. You look this up just as an example. I've got a book right here that is really good. Brain Maker. Good bacteria actually make a lot of the neurotransmitters, and one of them I think is interesting is brain-derived neuroprotein. what is it? Now my mind just went, I need to take more of it. but that bacteria ideally make more of it than your brain does, as far as some of these neurotransmitters. So pretty cool. But if you look at this is something you can be really proud of. It's not just a bunch of chemicals. It's predominantly whole food concentrates, very nutrient dense. So this is a wonderful product. Now, one other thing, as far as just nutrient dense, as you get older, you want to eat stuff that has a lot, or if you're younger too. And this is a priceless little picture here. I think one of the best things you can do is, and what I love doing is, I always wake up in the morning and I have a tall glass of Nikan waterfall water mixed with a heaping teaspoon of jade greenzymes. There's so many good things about this. My typical day is I'll do that, go to the gym, do some kind of exercise, come home, and then mix up a shake. And I just really like that. It just starts your day to just awesomeness. So highly recommend you jump on in, use these products, use them every day. I think back at one of my own kids had a friend that was hired by Krispy Kreme, and he worked there quite a while, and it just hit me. You know, there's a lot of people that'll go to McDonald's all the time. There's regulars to a lot of different places, but there's actually regulars that go to Krispy Kreme. He said in the morning there would be some people that would go there every morning for their breakfast. A couple of people would actually get a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts and eat them themselves, and have a soft drink oh wow, I just think, oh my goodness. In fact, well, kind of getting me going, there was a really nice teenage girl. I did a meeting once, and the guy says, can we meet at McDonald's? I said, well, yeah, okay. And I just don't do McDonald's. So I just kind of sat there. But there was a girl that came in and sat down beside us, and her lunch was a large fry and 2 ice cream cones. That was her lunch. We got to really help people. This is the first time in the history of the world where the coming generation is not going to live as long as the present generation. And I think what we're doing is digging our own grave with a spoon and a fork. Or in this lady's case, it was just with her fingers eating French fries and then a lick of her 2 cones. Oh my goodness. That is something you're going to pay for. But I love this idea where day after day after day of doing Kenzen Vital Balance, Jade Greenzymes, all of the other things that we do, this will really set you up for a wonderful, wonderful future. One thing I'd really recommend, get on YouTube and type in on search the last 10 years. And the Canadian government, they put together a 1-minute video that just kind of talks about 2 different paths that you can go on. And I believe Nikan is a great way to make us healthy, wealthy, and wise. But hey, love you guys, and I highly recommend you get involved with all of these amazing products. Take advantage of them, and let's see, here we go, stop share. So have a wonderful day, and do Jade Greenzymes, do KVB, all of the other wonderful products that we have that can transform lives. Take care, everyone.